These are the unprecedented cyber operations that enabled Israel to assassinate Iran's supreme leader Ali Khamenei on February 28, 2026. What unfolded was the most sophisticated intelligence operation in modern history, orchestrated by Unit 8200 from their headquarters at Glilo Junction, where traffic cameras became targeting tools and prayer apps turned into weapons of war. For years, Iran built a vast surveillance network across Tehran, millions of cameras monitoring every street corner, every government building, every route traveled by the country's leadership. What Iranian authorities didn't realize was that Israeli intelligence had quietly hijacked this entire system, turning Iran's own security apparatus against itself. One Israeli intelligence official told the Financial Times, "We know Tehran like we know Jerusalem. And when you know a place as well as you know the street you grew up on, you notice a single thing that's out of place." This wasn't hyperbole. Through sophisticated hacking operations, Israeli cyber warriors had gained access to nearly every traffic camera in Tehran, transferring all surveillance data to servers in Israel. The operation built on decades of Israeli cyber superiority, rooted in the legendary Unit 8200, Israel's equivalent to the NSA, but arguably more focused and effective. Unit 8200 had already proven its capabilities with Stuxnet, the 2010 cyber weapon that physically destroyed 1/5 of Iran's nuclear centrifuges at the Natanz nuclear facility. Known to US intelligence as Operation Olympic Games, this joint US-Israel operation targeted Simon Step 7 software. This software controlled programmable logic controllers that manage Iran's uranium enrichment cascades. The attack was so sophisticated that International Atomic Energy Agency inspectors initially couldn't understand why centrifuges were failing, but the 2026 operation represented something entirely new: the weaponization of an entire city's digital infrastructure. Security researchers had discovered years earlier that millions of internet-connected cameras worldwide were poorly secured, creating massive vulnerabilities. A scan of unprotected camera feeds revealed nearly 3 million vulnerable devices globally, including almost 2,000 cameras in Iran alone. Israeli intelligence systematically exploited these weaknesses, gaining access not just to individual cameras, but to entire networks. The cameras provided far more than simple surveillance footage. Advanced algorithms analyzed the video streams, tracking daily movement patterns of Iranian officials. One particular camera proved invaluable because of its angle. It provided a clear view of where bodyguards and drivers of senior officials parked their personal vehicles near Iran's leadership compound. This detailed intelligence allowed Israeli analysts to map the routines of Iran's most protected figures. The sophistication went beyond passive observation. Israeli cyber teams use artificial intelligence and big data fusion techniques to process the massive streams of information. The algorithms could identify addresses, map travel routes, catalog security details, and predict movement patterns. Every piece of data fed into a comprehensive picture of Tehran's power structure. As tensions escalated through 2025, this cyber infrastructure proved its worth repeatedly. The pro-Israel hacker group Predatory Sparrow, with suspected links to Israeli intelligence, launched a series of devastating attacks on Iranian infrastructure. Building on the malware genealogy that included Flame and Doku surveillance tools, they disrupted Iranian train services in July 2021. By June 2022, they had compromised industrial control systems at an Iranian steel mill, causing molten steel to spill and triggering fires. The attacks intensified during the brief 12-day war between Israel and Iran in June 2025. Predatory Sparrow targeted Iran's state-owned bank SEPA, disrupting banking services nationwide. In a rather symbolic move, they stole $90 million in cryptocurrency from the Iranian exchange Nobitex, then deliberately destroyed the funds by transferring them to inaccessible wallet addresses containing anti-IRGC messages. The political authorization for what became Operation Roaring Lion had been building since late 2025. During a Christmas week visit to Mar-a-Lago, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu informed President Trump that Iran was advancing its ballistic missile program. On February 23, 2026, Netanyahu called Trump with critical intelligence. Khamenei would be meeting with his top advisors at a specific location in Tehran. The Americans designated their parallel operation as Operation Epic Fury. What happened next showcased the full integration of Israel's cyber capabilities with conventional military operations. Many of the Israeli operatives involved were Unit 8200 alumni who later worked for the NSO Group, creators of the Pegasus spyware system. On February 28, 2026, as Israeli and American forces prepared their coordinated assault, multiple cyber operations activated simultaneously across Iran. At 9:52 a.m. Tehran time, users of the Beid Saba calendar prayer app, with over 5 million downloads, began receiving unusual push notifications. Instead of prayer times, messages declared help has arrived and help is on the way. For over 30 minutes, the hijacked app sent a series of psychological warfare messages, including offers of amnesty to Iranian military personnel who would turn against the regime. But the most critical cyber operation targeted Iran's communication infrastructure. Israeli hackers disrupted specific components of mobile phone towers near Khamenei's compound, making phones appear busy when called. This prevented Khamenei's protection detail from receiving warnings about the incoming strikes. The years of surveillance had revealed exactly which communication nodes to target for maximum effect. The physical assault was equally devastating. The Israeli Air Force launched its largest attack in history, deploying over 200 fighter jets to strike 500 military targets across Iran. In the first wave alone, Israeli forces used more than 1,200 bombs in 24 hours. Ali Khamenei and around 40 senior military commanders were killed in less than a minute, according to Israeli military statements. Parallel to the Kinetic campaign, Israel launched what has been described as the largest cyber attack in history. The attack caused Iran's internet connectivity to plummet to just 1 to 4% of normal levels for more than 60 hours. Government communications, state media, and public services were severely disrupted. After Israeli airstrikes damaged offices of state broadcaster IRIB, hackers hijacked television channels and aired recorded speeches by President Trump and Prime Minister Netanyahu. They called on Iranians to rise against the regime. Between February 28th and March 1st, over 150 hacktivist incidents were claimed across various online channels, with estimates ranging from 35 to over 100 different groups declaring involvement. The operation revealed the evolution of modern warfare, where cyber and physical operations merged seamlessly. Israeli forces had essentially turned Tehran's entire digital infrastructure into a weapon system. Traffic cameras became targeting assets, prayer apps transformed into propaganda tools, and communication networks were weaponized to prevent defensive responses. The success hinged on years of patient intelligence gathering and the exploitation of Iran's own modernization efforts. Every security camera installed to monitor dissidents became a tool for Israeli surveillance. Every internet-connected device represented a potential entry point. Iran's attempts to build a digital surveillance state had inadvertently created the infrastructure for its own targeting. The operation also highlighted the unique capabilities of Unit 8200, which former commander Yair Cohen described as the source of 90% of Israel's intelligence material. The unit's combination of technical expertise and operational focus enabled the kind of comprehensive digital infiltration that made Operation Roaring Lion possible. The aftermath was equally significant. On March 1st, 2026, Iranian state media confirmed Khamenei's death. Within a week, his son Mojtaba Khamenei was appointed as the new supreme leader, though his authority remained contested by hardliner factions within the IRGC Quds force. The regime's authority had been fundamentally shaken. The demonstration that Israel could penetrate Iran's most secure facilities and eliminate its highest leadership demonstrated its true power. The cyber dimensions of the operation continue to influence global discussions about cyber warfare. The integration of artificial intelligence, mass surveillance, and cyber weapons created new possibilities for precision targeting while raising profound questions about the future of conflict. What began as a network of traffic cameras designed to monitor Iranian citizens ultimately became the instrument of the regime's most devastating defeat. In the span of a few hours on February 28, 2026, years of patient cyber infiltration converged with overwhelming military force to reshape the balance of power in the Middle East. The operation proved that in the modern era, control of information networks can be as decisive as control of physical territory, and sometimes more so. I hope you enjoyed this video, and it would mean the world to me if you liked the video and subscribed. I make videos about everything ranging from cyber criminals to government-backed hackers, all the way into deep web investigations and ethical hacking tutorials. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great day.